Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into the latest vlog here on the Gavin Partridge YouTube channel. So we're going to be looking at more opinion poll data as we get ever closer to the next UK general election. We can now say that the election is next week, so it's going to be a week on Thursday, July the 4th, and be more opinion polls for the next election released through the course of today. We'll be going through those polls. We'll have to do MRP poll today as well. So more about that in a second, but just say if you enjoy the vlogs on the channel, we get ever closer to the general election. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, okay, well, let's deal with the MRP poll first of all, and then we'll have a look at the regular polls that have been released today. So I've had an MRP from Focal Data released today, questioning 24,536 people, and they have found the Conservatives on 23%, Labour on 41%, Liberal Democrats on 11%, SNP on 3%, Greens on 5%, and Reform on 16%. Overall Labour lead of 18%. And how does that translate to seats? So, of course, MRP, you know, it's drilling down into the detail of each individual respondent and then creating a seat-by-seat based prediction. So this is the tweet or the X that Focal Data put out earlier on today, and they are saying that their MRP poll shows that Labour is on course for a 250-seat majority. Goodness gracious me, that really is a landslide. They've on a seat-by-seat basis, they've got Labour on 450 seats. The Conservatives are on 110. No, that's a little bit better actually. It's still catastrophic, but it's a little bit better for the Conservatives than some of the polls that we've seen, or MRP polls have taken. The Conservatives actually under 100 seats. Liberal Democrats on 50 seats, reclaiming their place as the third largest party, but not the official opposition. That will still be the Conservatives on this MRP poll. SNP going down to 16 seats. They've got Plaid Cymru on 2 seats. They've got Reform on just 1 seat. Presumably that would be Nigel Farage's seat in Clacton. And then they've got the Greens hanging on to their 1 seat as well. Overall, a 250-seat majority for Labour. Supermajority there based on Focal Data's MRP poll. Right, and then we've had a few more polls in, regular polls. So we have had More in Common, we have had Redfield Wilton, and we've also had Delta poll dealing with More in Common. First of all, so they have the Conservatives on 25% in their latest poll, Labour on 41%, Liberal Democrats on 10%, SNP 2%, Greens on 5%, and Reform on 15%. Compared to the last More in Common poll, Conservatives are unchanged on 25%. Labour are up 2 from 39% to 41%. Liberal Democrats are up 1, down 1 I should say, from 11% to 10%. SNP are also down 1, 3% to 2%. Greens are unchanged on 5%, and Reform are up 1 from 14% to 15%. Overall, it's a Labour lead of 16%, which is actually up 2 from the 14% More in Common had Labour leading by in their previous poll. We've had Redfield Wilton today as well. They've got a mega poll. It is a standard poll, not MRP, but it's asking 10,000 respondents, and they have found the Conservatives on just 18%, Labour on 42%, Liberal Democrats on 12%. With this Redfield Wilton poll, SNP on 3%, Greens on 6%, Reform ahead of the Conservatives on 19%, overall Labour lead of 23%, compared to the previous Redfield Wilton poll, which was just here. Conservatives are unchanged, Labour also are unchanged, Liberal Democrats are up 1 there from 11 to 12%. SNP are unchanged. The Greens are up 1 from 5% to 6 from 5% to 6%, and Reform are unchanged on 19%. but Labour lead is unchanged. It was 23% before. With Redfield Wilton, it is still 23%. And then we've also had Delta poll appearing today, and they have the Conservatives on just 19%. Labour on 43%, Liberal Democrats on 13%, SNP 2%, Greens 5%, and Reform 15%. Overall, Labour lead of 24%. Let's see if we can find the last Delta poll. So there it is, just there. Last Delta poll. They have the Conservatives bed on 19%, so Conservatives are unchanged. Labour on 46%, so Labour are down 3 in this latest Delta poll, but still, well above 40%. Liberal Democrats were on 10% before, they're on 13% now, so Liberal Democrats are up 3, so it's been a switch from Labour to Liberal Democrats. That might be due to tactical voting. 2% for the SNP before, 2% for SNP now, 5% for Greens before, 5% for Green now, that's unchanged. And finally, Reform were on 16% before, we're on 15% now, so Reform down 1. So the real movement in that poll is from Labour to Liberal Democrats. Overall Labour lead of 24%, I say, with the Delta poll. Before it was 27%. The overall polling graph is looking like this now. So Labour looks like their drop has levelled off, actually. Just maybe can't make it out, but it's just ever so slight uptick there in Labour's trend line. No, it looks like the Labour dropping through the election campaign has levelled off. The Conservatives are still dropping, and Reform seem to still be rising as well. We haven't yet reached crossover between the Conservative and the Reform trend line, but there certainly isn't much in it now. Liberal Democrats trend line appears to be ticking down ever so slightly. And Greens and SNP are really static. They are neither rising nor falling. Right, well, that's it. Latest polling roundup with just over, lets itself up, with just over a week to go. I say it'll be a week on Thursday, but we're all voting, so getting ever closer now, and with just over a week to go, not really a lot changing. Labour still maintaining that roughly 20% lead, give or take a few percent here and there, and still on course for an absolutely overwhelming mega landslide majority. The big questions really for this election are not whether Labour are going to win, whether Labour, how much Labour's going to win by, and also what's going to happen with the Conservatives. Will they tumble into third place? Will they be replaced as the official opposition by the Liberal Democrats? And, how many seats will they be left with? It is going to be, by looking at a catastrophic result for the Conservatives. The question is, how bad will it get? Will they be able to hang on to official opposition status? And what's going to happen with Reform? How many seats will they pick up? They're the questions, and we shall know in just over a week. But before then, could be a lot more polls, so I should keep you updated here on the channel. If you enjoyed this vlog, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back with more soon. But for this one, that's all now, and thanks so much.